Hey friends, Liz here. Welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know me, I make faith-based and lifestyle videos here on YouTube and on Instagram. So go ahead and check my Instagram account for the daily update. I'm so excited for today's video. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Hi, it's me. I'm the elephant. That was not a fat joke. If you laughed, then you're evil. If you're laughing, Jesus. Anyways, let's talk about postpartum, shall we? I am 5 months into postpartum. Can I say that? Do you stop saying like I'm a year postpartum, or can you just always say I'm postpartum after you gave birth? I don't know. But my daughter's 5 months. She just turned 5 months a couple days ago, and that means that I'm 5 months postpartum. So I wanted to talk and I wanted to share my experience, and I really want to make this video just so I can remember the next time I get pregnant just how all of this kind of goes about, because it's so much all at once. At least it was for me, that I feel like some of it is kind of a blur in the moment, and then now that I'm healed and like, you know, baby's home and all that, I can look back and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how it was. So yeah, this video is to share my experience, but it's a little bit more for me to remember for baby number 2. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about postpartum. If you don't know my daughter's birth story, I'll link it down below. I was 26 weeks pregnant when I had her, so my daughter had to stay in the NICU for about 2.5 months. So that's a huge factor in my postpartum story, because I kind of had an advantage when it comes to my postpartum healing, because I wasn't taking care of a baby while I was healing. I stayed 3 or 4 nights at the hospital. I stayed like the most amount that you can stay after a C-section. I just wanted to go home and rest in my bed or my couch, but knowing that my baby was still in the hospital and knowing that I wasn't going to leave with her, I don't think I was ready to like face that just yet. So I asked for another extra day. It was easier for me to heal in the sense of like, normally a mom gives birth, whether that is at home or whether that is at a hospital, and she has to simultaneously heal and be taking care of a newborn baby. I didn't have that because my baby was in the NICU being taken care of by nurses and doctors. So I didn't experience the waking up I did experience that when I was in the hospital, because they come in your room every like 2 hours to check up on you and to press on your stomach for your uterus to kind of, you know, come back down. But I didn't experience like a baby crying or anything like that. And when I went home, it was a little bit smoother in the sense of, again, I didn't have a baby to take care of, so I could just lay there for hours and not have to like stand up or anything like that. But I am very, as you can say, stubborn, because I cannot stay still. So I didn't really have like that rest that a lot of women take. I felt ready to like start walking and everything, and I healed very quickly from my C-section. I've always heard like negative things about C-sections until I had one, and I know what it feels like, and it's really not bad. At least my experience was very smooth with a C-section. I healed very quickly. Fun fact, my daughter's baby shower was scheduled for the week after I gave birth. And I thought I would have to cancel it, and I was kind of really sad because we put so much money, and well, we didn't. My mother-in-law and my mother, they threw the baby shower for us. We told them like the decorations that we wanted and like the theme and the colors, and they took care of the rest, which was such a reliever, because I don't know about you, but planning big events kind of stresses me out. I love it to a certain extent. When it comes to like picking the decorations and all that, I love that, but then the rest of it just kind of makes me, yeah. So that was really nice of them to just kind of alleviate us from that weight and extra stress. I was kind of thinking of like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to cancel the baby shower. But then I realized that after I gave birth, I just remember thinking, when this epidural wears off, the pain is going to be so massive. And I remember asking the nurse, how bad is the pain after the epidural wears off? Am I gonna feel the cramping? And she looked at me like I was kind of dumb. She was like, honey, you went through the worst part of it. Like, that's it. You gave birth. The labor pain is over. It's not going to come back. And I just remember hearing that. I was like, oh my gosh. I felt such a relief because I was expecting the pain to go back, because those contractions, they do not mess around. So let me tell you, contractions are woo! So after you go into the room that you're gonna be in and visitors can come and visit you, they ask you to get up and walk. I don't remember if it was after or before the catheter. I just remember telling myself, like, girl, you better walk, because you are not going to get stabbed or get put in like another catheter, because that hurts. Okay, that hurts. So I remember walking and it wasn't bad at all. I felt like your stomach was just like falling from your body. Not heavy per se, but like almost as if you were kind of trying to keep it in your body and not from falling out of you. I'm sorry if that makes absolutely no sense and if that sounds terrifying, but that is the best way that I can describe it. Maybe if you had a C-section, you kind of understand what I mean. It's not like painful. It's just like a sensation. At least it was for me. The car ride home, oof, that was a little bit uncomfortable. Just like getting in the car, getting out of the car. So if you have like a really tall car or a really low car, those are probably not the best after a C-section, because you will feel like the gravity of like going down or like just pulling yourself up to sit on a higher car. I remember we used my husband's car, and his car is lower than mine, and oof, the difference that it made when I used my car, when we started using my car, was immaculate. When we got home, we had so many Amazon packages, like it's crazy, because again, I didn't know I was gonna give birth when I gave birth. So I did have like the list of the postpartum things that I wanted to get. I just didn't buy them yet because I was only 6 months pregnant, so I was waiting for a little bit to actually order all of that and actually like start nesting. I didn't really get that period until after I gave birth because my daughter was in the hospital for so long, so I still did get to nest, just differently. So yeah, it was Prime Day, Cyber Monday, so we just took complete advantage and we got absolutely everything that was postpartum related on my list, and we ordered that. So there were Amazon packages every single day that we were at the hospital. It was a lot. A week after I gave birth, I went to the baby shower and I had a little bit of pain walking, and it was more when you just kind of slouch and bend over a little bit. You could totally feel it. Also, when we got home, my husband kind of had a cough, and I catched on to whatever he had, and I had a little bit of a cough, and also something really weird that happened. Like if I had extra air right here, and I told the nurse about it, and that's normal, it's just like gas. I had kind of like that feeling that made me want to cough, and I was sneezing, and it was kind of painful because I couldn't cough at like my normal capacity, like I couldn't do that. Use your muscles in your belly to cough. So that was so annoying because I was literally trying to cough like to like not hurt myself, and it was annoying because, you know, when you feel like you need to let a cough out and you really can't. So yeah, just remember that. But I learned a little trick. So if you have to cough or sneeze or laugh, because these people be making you laugh after you give birth. My family was all making me laugh after I gave birth. Honestly, it doesn't take long to make me laugh, so. But if you take a pillow, so for example, if you take a pillow and you just place it, can't really see, but you place it on like your incision side and you kind of press on, that alleviates you when you cough, sneeze, or laugh. So that really helps me. Also wearing, and I'm going to get into the things that I used postpartum and the things that I bought but didn't use, but something that really helped me was using like a waistband to kind of make me feel more supported. But yeah, I was out of the house every day because we went to see Leah in the NICU every single day, and also we were like at a car dealership a few days after I gave birth, my baby shower. I think I returned to church 2 weeks after giving birth, and at this point I was feeling pretty good. I was walking at a normal speed. Week 3, week 4, after a month passed, I was pretty good, so I healed pretty quickly from it. Now it's been 5 months and I'm like fully recovered, back to all of the physical activities that I couldn't do right after you give birth. The incision healed really, really good, and it was really low. This might be a little bit of a TMI, but hopefully we're all girls on here. It's completely covered when I wear my underwear. It's not on my stomach at all. It's like very, very, very low. And I do have a long torso, so maybe that's why. But yeah, like you can't see it at all. So let's move on to a couple of questions that I got postpartum, and then I'll show you guys what I got and what I used and what I got but didn't use. The first question that I asked was on Instagram, and the person asked, thoughts on postpartum depression? I'm scared of this in the future. Oof, such a big topic. This is something that I was praying for a lot during my pregnancy. My temper is very melancholic sometimes. Believe it or not, like I'm a hopeless romantic. Like I'm a very I don't want to say emotionally driven, but I am a very big expressive person. You study like characters and like tempers, then you know what I'm talking about. I was very scared of postpartum depression, and this was just something that I had to surrender to the Lord. I had a conversation with a lady that stopped me in the bathroom, in the church bathroom once, and she was asking me about Leah, and at this time Leah was still in the NICU, and I was telling her how I'm doing really good, how I'm healing really good, and she was like, no, really, but like how are you mentally? And I was like, no, honestly, I'm doing so good. And she was telling me how when she had her first daughter, she had really bad postpartum depression and it affected her marriage and all this. And she was saying how for her second pregnancy, she really surrendered that to the Lord. And she was now like enjoying all of those newborn stage things and all of the things that come with having a baby that she wasn't able to enjoy with her firstborn because of postpartum depression. And I was telling her about Christine de Clario's testimony, because she's like an advocate for mental health, because she went through really bad postpartum depression in her pregnancies. The Lord knows that there are certain weights that you cannot carry. If He brings something towards your life, even though it's something that is doesn't necessarily look good, it's not to wreck you. It doesn't come to destroy you, but He comes to build you up. But no, I didn't get postpartum depression, which I am so thankful for. But this lady said something that marked me. She said, Liz, because I was telling her how I was praying for it. I wasn't like having anxiety over having postpartum depression or anything, but I was just thinking about it, and I knew it was a big possibility, a big chance of getting it. So I was just telling her how I prayed a lot during the pregnancy for me not to get postpartum depression. And she told me, well, Liz, now that you say that, it's not a coincidence that Leah is in the NICU. Maybe God allowed that to save you from getting postpartum depression. And maybe not, but I am thankful that Leah's story went how it went, because the Lord knows all things. And yeah, maybe that was His way of freeing me from going through postpartum depression. I don't know. But either way, I'm grateful for how everything turned out to be, and I'm really thankful that He kept me sound-minded. That's how I dealt with that topic. I didn't get postpartum depression, but I do believe that me praying and just constantly being grateful and constantly just saying, Lord, help me to have a sound mind. And that's something that I pray now too. I'm sure that a lot of people maybe thought I was going through a depression because the way that Leah's birth happened and her being a premature, but honestly, I was just so overjoyed with how merciful, how attentive the Lord was with the whole situation, with how much care, with how much love. Like, we were showered with so much love from our community, from our friends, from people just that we haven't talked to in years, that just bought us stuff for the baby, that messaged us. Like, we experienced such a love and such support from our families. Like, oh my goodness, our families did so much for us that it was hard to think about, oh yeah, I don't have my baby with me, because she was here, she was with us. Maybe she wasn't home, but that didn't mean that she wasn't with us. And I think it's all about perspective too. I think the more grateful you are, the less space there is for anything else, and that's how you kind of overcome depression and anxiety and all of these other thoughts that, you know, don't come from the Lord. You beat them with being grateful, with knowing that the Lord has your life in His hands, and with trusting Him and rejoicing that He is good and that He has plans for good for you, not for evil, but for good. Another question that I got was how to approach your spouse with confidence after childbirth. Whew, girl. Wow, that is such a good question. Let me just say, if you've been around me in person, you know that I say this a lot, but marriage is messy. Marriage is messy in the sense of marriage is vulnerable. Like, it's cute and it's nice and there's beautiful moments in it, but you're so vulnerable, girl. You're so vulnerable. And after childbirth, your husband will see you in a state that is just not the cutest. It's not the cleanest. It's not the most perfect, picture perfect, but it is such a beautiful state. We're just so vulnerable after giving birth. So many people see areas of you that you're just like, whoa, that's a little too personal. Just kind of get comfortable with people seeing you naked and with people just seeing you bloody, and that's just, it is what it is. It's nature, you can't stop it. I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I looked like an inflated balloon. Like, that's how my belly looked like. I was like, whoa. Like, I knew it was gonna look like that, but just like going through it is like, whoa, like what is going on? And I'll insert a picture here so you can see what I mean. But my belly was so round and it looked shiny, not because I was putting creams on it. Like in this picture, it was just shiny because it was like literally about to like poof, like pop out. And just seeing those areas that looked really, really like shiny and like bulked out, kind of deflated, it was kind of funny. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, whoa, like, is this gonna go down more? Like, am I gonna just live like this for the rest of my life? Normal postpartum thoughts. And the first person that gave me a shower wasn't my husband, because I was a little bit timid, even though this man has literally seen every single angle of me. But my mom was the first one to give me a shower. And again, you are in so much pain and just recovering, and you're just so tired that I did not care that my mom saw me naked. Like, she saw me from head to toe. She saw the moons and the stars. It's funny, but the other day we were sitting at church and my mom was sitting right in front of us, and she was holding Leah, and I just remember like looking at my mom being like, oh, she's such a good grandma, like she's such a good mom, and just the love of a mother is so beautiful. And I was just contemplating on that, and then I remembered, oh my god, my mom saw me naked. Like, she gave me a whole shower as an adult, as a grown woman. She gave me a whole shower. She wiped my butt after I gave birth. There's nothing more humbling in the world than giving birth. Let me just tell you that. There is nothing more humbling in the world than giving birth. You will need so much grace, so much patience, so much love for yourself, because your body might not look like the way you want it to look the day after, or the week after, or a few months after, or a year after you give birth. And that is okay. That is completely okay. The fact that your body produced a life, nourished, took care, and was a home for your baby, and it did it perfectly without any flaw, that is like amazing. You might not look like you did before you were pregnant, and that's okay. And that's something that you're just gonna have to give yourself grace and love, and accept that your bodies were created to change. Like, you didn't look the same as you did 10 years ago. Why would you look the same after you gave birth? Love yourself, love your tiger stripes. Every stretch mark represents your body expanding to make room for another life in you, and that is nothing, there's nothing more beautiful than that. And I'm not just trying to be positive to like pretend that I look in the mirror every single day and I absolutely love my body, because no, some days I look in the mirror and I'm like, girl, you got a mom pooch and you got to get rid of this pooch. But then other days I look and I'm like, thank you, God, for this body. Thank you for this body that you gave me, that produced a life that transformed me, a life that made me a mother. Having a husband that is godly It's such a blessing, and I truly wish this upon every single woman watching this and every single woman in the world, because there is nothing like you looking your worst, and you know you look your worst, girl. Like, you know, there is like nothing attractive about you other than your smile maybe, and your husband looking at you with tender eyes and telling you I love you, asking you for a kiss, telling you how beautiful and how proud he is. Like, there's I'm gonna get emotional. There's nothing more beautiful than that. And I thank God for Carlos, because I could not have healed from postpartum the way that I did if it wasn't for him. My husband took 2 weeks off after I gave birth just to take care of me, just to make sure the house was nice and clean, just so I didn't have to do anything. And he took another 2 weeks off after Leah came home. So he's been so hands-on. He's been so on board. In fact, I wasn't the one who created our baby registry, because the first trimester I was just not myself. Literally, that was a whole nother person. I was so tired and just like, ooh, like had so much nausea and so much like food aversion that I just slept through the whole first trimester. Let me just say that. And he was the one making the registry. He was the one just asking me, hey babe, do you like this? Are you sure that I can add this on the registry? He is such a good dad, and he showed that not now that Leah's home, but he showed that from me being pregnant, that he would literally just, I would wake up with like back pains and he would give me a massage. And don't focus so much on the vanity things that can, you know, that will come and go in life. Focus on the life that you just produced and that the Lord gifted you and trusted in your hands with. Another question that I got was how to deal with postpartum body after. This is still something that I am navigating through. The hardest part for me was honestly the clothing. So it's definitely been a journey of accepting my new body. I had stretch marks like on my sides and like on my, you know, but I didn't have stretch marks on my belly. Well, what I didn't know was that from stretching and shrinking back after you give birth, that produces stretch marks. So I got stretch marks after I gave birth. And it was a little bit frustrating, let me tell you. I didn't look at them like, wow, hello, welcome, stretch marks. I looked at them and I was like, are you serious? Like, I gave birth already. Why am I getting stretch marks now? I just had to, again, love myself, be graceful to myself, remind myself what my body just went through. That at the end of the day, I love myself just the way that I am. My husband loves me just the way that I am. Nobody else is gonna see my stretch marks but myself and my husband, and we're okay with them, so it really doesn't matter. So as a first-time mom, I informed myself as much as I could of the things that I needed, yada yada, but I did definitely overbought a lot of things that I didn't use at all for postpartum. Something that I did get and I do not regret getting, and I still use it now for Leah stuff, is a little movable cart, and I just put that in the bathroom. I'll link everything that I bought down below. Am I out of focus? Very easy to reach, very easy to get for when I had to use the bathroom. And I just kept on there my pads, extra underwear, maternity bras, maternity like pads, just anything that I needed right after the shower I would keep right there, and it was very handy, very nice, very useful. Another thing for high-waisted undies. So I took absolutely everything that the hospital gave me. I just had to accept you're going to be twinning with your baby, wearing diapers for a little while. These are the ones that I got. I got them in extra large. They are super comfortable and they're disposal. So it's very nice because you just wear them, throw them away, wear them, throw them away. You don't have to worry about like washing them. So sometimes I would wear this and then I would wear an underwear on top just so I could feel more supported. These were so good. I have so many of these. I am set for when baby number 2 comes. Also, my pregnancy pillow, actually didn't use it during pregnancy because it arrived after I already gave birth, but I did use it all postpartum and it was really nice, especially with the incision. You can't really just get up normally out of bed and get into bed. You kind of have to roll your way out. So just having that extra support was really nice. A waistband. So my insurance actually covered this for me, so this is like not a fancy one at all. I have the one that the hospital gave me and I have the one that my insurance gave me, and they're pretty similar. Really nice after a C-section. These are the maxi 2 times larger, size 5. I would have been fine with smaller ones, but I just, again, first time mom, didn't know and never given birth before, so I just wanted to be like extra sure. So now I have a whole thing in our bathroom stored away of things that I bought for postpartum that I just never really used. First thing are these. I think I opened it, but I haven't actually taken them out or anything, but this is what they look like. These are C-section silicone scar patches. Also got a peri bottle. Never used this. The hospital gave me one as well. Never used it. Again, I don't know if it's because I had a C-section. Maybe if I had a vaginal birth, I would have 100% used this and would have sworn by it like everybody else does. Cold pack things that they gave you at the hospital. Never used. Again, maybe because I had a C-section, I didn't feel any soreness or pain in that downstairs area. This is witch hazel foam. Didn't use this at all. Brand new. Dermoplast. Something that I did use, and I've been using it like now, like months after giving birth, but it's this advanced silicone scar gel. This has been working for the itch, and I have seen this reduce the scar. I just got these to be safe and just to put under me, like on the couch if I was laying on the couch or on the bed. And then when I realized like, okay girl, you're not bleeding through, you're fine without them, I stopped. So like after day 1 of being home, I've never used these again, and I have so many of them. But yeah, you live and you learn, and I'm so ready for baby number 2. If baby number 2 comes, I like literally don't need to buy anything. So thank you guys so much for watching. That will conclude my postpartum experience. Also, like, what in the world? I have color in my nails. If you know me, you know that I do not do color on my nails. I either do French tip or milky white, and that's it. But I feel a little bit of interest. Like, having kids changes you, and that's crazy because color, not my thing. This doesn't match with absolutely anything, but I love it. I love it. You will see me on my next one. Ciao.